Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is the S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Says podcast, episode number 479. And you know what? I just want to tell you one thing. This is how I feel. If you can't trust people, they got to go. I'll say it again. If you can't trust people, they got to go. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this episode. Are you ready? Cool. Let's go. Now, I'm one of those people, and I know how there's a lot of people out there like me. Maybe you're like me, and trust is an incredibly important thing. I will not betray people's trust. Not going to do it. Haven't done it in the past. Not doing it now. Will not do it in the future. If I can't trust you, you've got to go. That's my motto. And it's amazing how you can trust certain people for certain things, and certain things you can't trust people with. You compartmentalize a lot of people, and you don't even realize how many people you put into boxes and categories and levels of trust. The closer they get to you, the more you trust them. Right? You have your neighbors and you trust them. You trust them not to break into your house or steal your car. So you have a level of trust with your neighbors, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want them walking around your house knowing about your business, because you can't trust whether or not they're going to tell people what you have in your house if you have anything valuable in your house. You can't trust whether or not they're casing the joint themselves. You can't trust whether or not, you don't know what they're going to do. They may have a big mouth and tell people what you got in your house. If you maybe get a big screen TV that's the first one of its kind or some crap like that, and they tell somebody and the word gets out, and all of a sudden you go out of the house for 5 hours, you come back, there's a big hole in your wall where your TV used to be. There's levels of trust. You probably have friends you trust, right? They're your friends. You trust them to come into your house, hang around your family and all of that stuff, but you wouldn't trust them with your social security number, would you? Now, you don't think they're really going to do anything, but you don't want to give it to them. Why would you give it to them? Right? You don't trust them that much. Then there are friends you do trust that much. You've known this person since you met this person in kindergarten. You're an adult person. Maybe you're in your 20s or 30s. Or you're like me. You're a middle-aged person. And this person has never betrayed your trust in any way for decades and decades and decades. I had a friend of mine who we were working on a script together, and he said, hey man, what's the social security number? And I just gave it to him because he needed it to file something. Under normal circumstances, if somebody else asked me for my social security number, I'd be like, look, how about you give me the paperwork and I send it in myself? But I trusted him. And when I had to do something like that for him, he just gave me a social security number. And I didn't do anything with it. Why? We trusted each other that much. So trust is an important thing, and you got to be careful who you have around you. You probably have relatives that you trust more than other relatives, right? You got that relative you would trust with everything. And then you got that relative that's a relative, you love them, you trust them to come to your house, but you wouldn't trust your kids with them. Not because you think they would do anything weird with the kid, but because they're a little more lax with their child than you are with yours. They give their child way more freedom than you would give your child. And you know, in the back of your mind, they will tell you while you're there, of course I won't let your kid run around like that. And the second you drive off and you're on the freeway going to wherever you're going to go, he goes right back to the kid. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I allow my kid to go outside and play in traffic in the dark with dark clothing on. You're his cousin. You can go right out there with him. You know what I'm talking about. Now, you trust that person. That person's not going to steal anything from you, but that person does let things happen that you wouldn't allow happen. It's amazing how we can compartmentalize. When I was younger, we had a friend. And I'm not the kind of person that would have this kind of friend around me now. This is me in my late teens, early 20s. And this was a guy that we trusted. He hung out with the crew. He was one of the boys. He started to very, very quickly become liked by everybody. And he started to slide into the group. He started to show up at group activities. He started to be at the bar with us and all that kind of crap. And it was great. And we started to trust the guy. But we started to notice that he would see women that were in relationships, right? And he would know they were in relationships. And what would he do? He would purposely go after ladies that were in relationships, not caring whether or not he was destroying a family. Didn't really matter. He just know he wanted naked time with the lady. And sometimes he'd get naked time with the lady. Didn't matter what the ramifications were. And at first we kind of looked at him side eye, but we didn't say anything. Right? And you got to realize when a person shows you little things about how they can't be trusted, you got to realize, and this is what I say to some of my young relatives, what a person will do in front of you, they may do to you. So I watched them. My friends kind of stopped watching them. They just kind of let it slide, but I didn't let it slide. I watched them. And I'm saying it's only a matter of time, because you guys have girlfriends. I have a girlfriend. It's only a matter of time before this guy takes a shot at one of our girlfriends, because he's the new member of the friendship. Everybody else has known each other for a long time. This guy's just so he's not really that attached to any of us. Like, I would never, under any circumstance, I don't even look at my friends' girlfriends. Like, a friend of mine's girlfriend, I was hanging out at this house with him and his girlfriend or whatever, and she's running around and she's got like shorts on or something like that. And she said, "Hey, would you like something to drink?" I said, "Yes, thanks." And she gets up to walk to get the drink, the soda out of the kitchen. I did not turn my head. I did not look at her buttocks. Why? Because that's disrespectful. But that guy was at the house too. Captain New Guy was at the house, and I'm looking at the game on TV, and out the corner of my eye, I saw him looking at our friends' girlfriends' buttocks a little bit too long. You ever see that look you ever catch a look on your face when you see your woman where she's ready to do some good stuff with you and she's beckoning you forward? You ever catch that look on your face when you know something really good's about to happen? Some really, really, really good stuff's about to happen? Well, imagine that face on this guy looking at our friends' girlfriends' buttocks. I couldn't pick my buddies, friends, girlfriends, and wives' butts out of a lineup, but this guy could. It was only a matter of time, right? And my friend didn't catch the look, but I caught the look. And my friend, whose girlfriend was in the other room getting a soda for me, he looked at me, and I gave him the look. And I gave a look to the guy next to me, who was looking at his girlfriend's buttocks. And the guy gave me the look as if to say, "Really?" And I gave him a look back as if to say, "You're damn right." So now we're both looking at the guy. He hadn't done anything yet. He was just looking. He had plausible deniability. Maybe he was looking at the plants. Yeah, that's right. He had plausible deniability. So we couldn't get up on him and tell him, "Hey man, what?" Couldn't do it yet. Couldn't do it. But we're now on notice. All of the friends get together, right? We've all got our girlfriends there. He's there as well. And he's with another lady, his latest conquest. A lady who didn't even take her wedding ring off. And he's flaunting her, yes. "Look, hey guys, she goes away to go to the bathroom." We're like, "Dude, isn't she like a married woman?" He goes, "It ain't my problem, man. Listen, if she was happy, she would be there with her husband. I didn't force her to do anything, you know what I'm saying? I walked up to her, told her what I wanted to do, and she was with it. So, if anybody should be ashamed of themselves, it should be her. I'm just a dude." That was his logic. And technically, she is the one that was in a relationship, technically, but you don't have to facilitate it, right? If somebody's robbing a bank and some money falls out of one of the bank robber's bags, you didn't rob the bank, but you shouldn't pick up the stack of money, throw it in your pocket and drive off. You didn't rob the bank, but you did make the situation a little worse. You involved yourself when you shouldn't be involved, right? But the funny thing about it is, even in this particular situation, he's got his conquest with him. And my friend whose girlfriend's buddy was looking at we're all outside. It's the summertime and we're not looking at each other's girl. We all got our own lady there, and she walks away and he's looking at her buttocks again. This time even longer than before. So long that the woman he was facilitating the cheating with was looking at him like, excuse me, I'm ruining my marriage for you, and you're looking at another woman's butt. She didn't say it, but her face said it. Oh no. And she was mad, but she couldn't say anything. She was cheating on her husband. And this time my friend caught him.